Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Something Cafe podcast with your host, Celestino Dooley. And today I have a guest with me, Dawson. What's your last name? Berardi. I knew it was Italian.
Yeah.
I got Dawson Berardi with me here. He is a certified. Well, remind the people what you are certified in.
Being a freak in the sheets because I cry when I have.
And that's the kind of stuff that you come here for, the Something Cafe podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I kind of want to get into a few things because Dawson is the manager. For how long have you been manager?
I've been a manager for technically about a year and a half.
A manager at, can we say?
Yeah.
Does that company want this episode to be
Oh, I've gotten away with much worse.
good? Elevate Kava Social Lounge in Maitland, Florida, and soon to be
In Estero in Fort Myers.
Fort Myers. He's been the manager for a little bit now. And as you guys know, I used to work at a kava bar. All the stories that I've told about the guy who came to play rock and microwaved Christmas lights on the floor and blew up the microwave, climbed up the center pillar that held up the construction of the room, tore down some of the shafting, and wore a diaper and got blood on it.
How did it get blood on it?
True story. So
All that made sense, and then the blood on the diaper.
Mhm.
That's trouble.
we got episode 3 with Brittany Loudon, the bloody diaper man. That was one of the nights where, because we had booked like a rock night, and Brittany booked this band, but she wasn't working that night. So I just assumed it was some rock band. And then they all came in. It was some really tough screamcore type of deal. And as I saw the band bringing their stuff in, like drums, check. Guitar, check. Microphone, check. Drumsticks, check. Propane tank. You know, it's like fine, because that's percussion. You know,
Yeah.
ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
Microwave. And then that's when I start getting nervous. And I'm thinking maybe this is some like Jabberwockies, stomp kind of action, doing a little bit of that urban percussion. Christmas lights come in, and then that's when my snowflake region got real sweaty, and they start performing, and he's wearing a paper jumpsuit, completely made out of paper, translucent, and what you could see was nothing but like a 65 plus Keeps diaper. Halfway through the set, he ripped it off, and he kept jumping up and then butt slamming the ground. But we had linoleum floor, so when he would turn around, you would see that blood started to pool like right on the back of his diaper. And then midway through the set, while he's going, he plugged in the microwave.
That's fucking awesome.
Picked up the Christmas lights, threw them into the microwave, slammed the door, and hit 4. And it started spinning, and there's a
So good.
and then loud pop, loud flash.
Like it wasn't so much like, oh, this is part of the show. It's like, no, this is concerning now.
Mm-hmm. Loud pop, loud flash, and then smoke. And we hadn't stopped it yet. I was like, you know what? Raise your hand if you're hurt. No one raised their hand. We kept going, and then we had like a center beam in the middle for that's just part of the Larry.
No,
Lars,
let him get in there.
Lars really likes to take the insoles out of shoes.
No, let her. Or let him. I keep
Larry is fine.
your cats.
It's Lars. Oh, he is getting in there. He is getting all the flavors, man.
No, I have a serious problem when it comes to my feet. Like they smell
Good.
smell really bad.
They smell good. How's it smell under the sheets when you have no air, like when the sheets are completely trapped under you and all the smells are trapped?
Yeah.
Is it the feet that bring the most stench?
No, it's probably my
You bathe, right?
no.
As you shouldn't.
I shower.
Well,
Idiot.
because you know
Sorry.
some of that science says you shouldn't wash your hair, you shouldn't bathe more than once a month, and all this hippy dippy science. You know, I believe all of it.
But in high school, I used to I fell victim to like the hippie curse of like
How old were you?
I was like 16. No, 15. Yeah, 15. And for some reason this like cool guy who I looked up to, his name was Luke Hendren. He was just like the epitome of like cool surfer dude. He was like, "Yeah, I don't wash my hair."
Okay.
And I'm like, "That's cool." So for like an entire year and a half, I didn't wash my hair at all.
There you go.
And it was like really long. It was really matted. I had knots in it. And
you were a dreadhead.
I wish I had dreads. It would look better.
Yeah.
No, it was like matted, and I don't know why I did that.
I'm pretty sure that's how they came across yogurt.
Yeah. No, it was Guatemalans who started to
some of my favorite people.
Yeah. No, honestly. You ever see a Guatemalan?
Only when I'm lucky.
I mean,
waiting for them to become the 52nd state.
Yeah, no, I agree,
the
man.
51st would be
51st would be
Puerto Rico.
No, I would say Hawaii.
Yeah, they've been out there way too long.
No, what I want them to get I don't want Hawaii to be a state anymore. And I want them to get annexed from the US. Yeah. And then Puerto Rico comes in.
They take Hawaii's spot.
And
because
then
are we going to add more stars to the flag? Have you ever thought about that? Like, if we do get another state, we would have to change the flag.
Yeah.
We've changed the flags for all the other people. We changed the flag for Hawaii. Mm-hmm. Hawaii only became a state in the 1930s.
Really?
Yeah, and we changed the flag then. If we take the Puerto Ricans, which we've already taken the Puerto Ricans, half of the Puerto Rican population is in New York right now. The other 25%
they're just eating dogs and cats
Kissimmee.
Up there, I think.
Well, they're eating dogs and cats everywhere. Yeah. That's just a damn fact. The other 25% is in Kissimmee. And then the last 25% is still on the island, rocking analog style. And you have to think, when are we just going to take them? Because they are U.S. citizens.
Well,
legally
we've been exploiting them for I think cane sugar is the main thing that we exploit them for.
That's all we're taking from them.
Well, probably their pride and their kids.
Well, I would hope to think we would use them a little bit more than that.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure we use them for rum and sugar.
What do Puerto Ricans know about rum?
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Because if they're sitting on a whole bunch of tequila, we are using them for the wrong.
I agree.
For the wrong stuff.
What would a Puerto Rican flag look like? Would it be like?
I don't think they have one.
No. If they, you don't think they have a flag? If they, okay. So imagine tomorrow I wake up. Joe Biden calls me just to let me know. He says, "Hey, man."
That would be the most unlucky day of my life.
Yeah. Joe Biden's like, "Hey, baby, Puerto Rico's a state. I need you and Celestino to make a new flag because that old one, it's not cutting it. That little triangle with the red and the blues."
I'll tell you this about the Puerto Rican flag. It is, when you hit the power button on your phone 3 times and all the colors invert.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Mm-hmm.
Chat?
Yeah, chat. It is. That's just what it. That's what the Puerto Rican flag is. Just the Cuban flag. If you did that to it, did you know that the Cuban flag and the Puerto Rican flag look exactly the same, just different colors?
Yes, because I get them confused quite
How
often.
stupid is that?
Yeah,
Which
it's
one's
dumb.
the Puerto Rican flag? Do you know?
The better one?
Gosh, he's
Let
good.
that sink in.
He's good. You can you can take that to the bank.
Yeah.
You can take that to the bank. It's the one with the star surrounded by the blue. That's all I know.
I know it's got
Star.
it's got like a.
Careful with that. With that.
Oh no, I wasn't.
Careful with
No,
that. Yeah.
it's.
Stretch out that elbow. You're gonna be talking about a different flag, brother.
What do you? Did I ever tell you about my boss who killed his mom?
I feel like it'd be one of the first things you told me.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I guess.
Fill me in.
So I worked at a movie theater called the Rialto in the Villages, Florida, and Stellar, dude. And this guy it's a short little guy, and he's my boss, and
Okay.
he's kind of weird, but like he's cool. You know, he's the type of guy who you like look at his car, and all of his seats are they have seat covers on them that are
Seat covers,
Nightmare
yeah.
Before Christmas themed, and you're like, something.
and it's not a woman.
Yeah, it's not a woman.
Oh,
You're like,
wow.
all right, something's going on here. Okay.
Those chromosomes got close, brother.
Yeah. So
Shoot, man.
so I'm someone who I'm a yes man, and especially as a 15-year-old or 14, I forgot how old I was always just down for whatever. So one time, this guy for some reason got a liking to me, and
That's how Jeffrey started.
that yeah, and for whatever reason, he was like, hey, you want to come up to the projector room with me?
Hell yeah.
And I was like, yeah. So, you know, I walk up there. There's no one there. It's got to be like 11 p.m. I'm still in fucking high school.
Getting to second base.
And this is right around when my hair was not being washed. So it was.
He was into that stench.
He liked me.
He kind of
even
liked
then.
how when he put his hands through your hair,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of got stuck like an unlucky moth in a Venus flytrap.
Yeah.
You know,
He's a texture guy.
trying to pull it out, and you can't. It's like getting your damn little piglet stuck on a glue trap, brother.
Dude, it's like a metaphor. You know what I mean?
I love metaphors.
Me too, man.
So he takes you up to the projector.
Takes me up to the projector room, wants
In
me
the
to see his
in
film
the
collection
cinema.
in the cinema, and I'm up there. There's no one there. It's pretty creepy at night. And then he like looks at me, and he's like, "I got to tell you something." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "You remind me of myself when I was young. Never let anyone take anything from you." And I said, "Okay, Matt. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, dude, 100%. I got it.
Nice.
I don't want that either." And then he said, "No, listen to me. Don't let anyone take anything from you." I said, "Okay."
Right.
And then he said, "Do you know how to punch?" And I said, "I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I could probably figure it out."
Not good
And he's
enough.
like, "No, you don't know how to punch." So he then looks at me and he's like, "I'm going to tell you how to fucking punch. I'm going to show you."
Yeah.
And then he faces this wall, and like he's like, "Watch this. When you punch someone, you don't just stop at the point of impact. You imagine as if you're punching through their skull."
Yeah, wow.
And I was like, "Okay." And then he starts punching the wall, and he's like, "You see that?" And like every punch, he gets a little more like intense. You see that?
That's the sign of a
You
saint.
see that?
That's the sign of a sane man.
Yeah. And then he like in all of his passion, like just showing America's youth how to punch. He like grabbed my shirt
Attaboy.
and got the blood from his knuckles on my white shirt.
Yeah, a little
And I was like,
souvenir.
I don't really know what this is all about. And then somehow or another, I don't remember how we got to this conversation after that, but I was just like, I don't know what's going on. Let's see what happens.
Uh-huh.
So then I say to him, because he mentioned like a while ago that he likes lock picking, and I was like, well, what's
Obviously.
what's lock picking all about? Like, why? How'd you get into that? And then his response to me was, "There's nothing more gratifying than being in a person's room and they don't know you're there."
There you go. That's
And I said,
that's a
"That's
rapist.
that's cool." And then he's like, "Do you want me to teach you?" And I said,
That's a rapist.
I said,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, sure, yeah." And then he like got his little. He's got like one of those clear, like locks with the
Yeah.
lockpick set that
Like
he.
a test lock you can practice on.
Yeah. And then he like showed me how to do that, which is crazy that he genuinely had this on hand. Like,
Just-
oh yeah, dude, yeah, here you go.
Just in his back pocket.
Just-
It's
it is-
actually on his key chain.
Yeah.
Key never goes there anywhere
Just like a
without
giant
it.
block. But after that,
you learned a lot that day.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I know how to punch. I don't know how to lockpick because I was kind of scared. I got blood on my shirt, never came off.
Wow.
And then the next day I started asking like the people in concession, the concession. That's what the theater people refer to them as, the concession. I was like, hey, this this happened last night with me and Matt. Like, that was kind of wild. And then this guy says, he killed his mom.
There you go.
And I said, what?
I could have guessed that.
And, yeah, he's like,
he seemed like a killing his own mother sort of gentleman.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Turns out, pretty fucked up. His mom was abusing him in not great ways. Not saying there's a good way to abuse someone, but this was.
I'd like to explain what a good way would be.
A good way would be like.
Yeah, here we go.
Just like just a good.
Here goes manager.
Good punch on the lip. Punch on the lip and say, "I love you, baby." Not to a woman. to a man. No, I don't think there's a positive. Clip that. No.
So hold on. So we know he killed his mom. We know he killed his mom, and it seems like all of his hobbies are integral steps to actually killing his mother. So
yeah,
you got to learn how to lockpick.
You got to learn how to lockpick.
So
and
he has to learn. He has to learn how to get into his mom's bedroom while she's asleep.
Yeah,
because there's no way she didn't lock her doors with the sun like that.
Oh no! Dude, it's even worse.
And then he learned how to not just punch someone, but punch right through their sternum, just right through, and just Indiana Jones just ripped the heart out.
Yeah. He's a good man.
How is your mom?
My mom's alive.
Good.
She's good. She kind of.
So it didn't work.
It didn't work. Well, so
we got so lucky.
So for a minute, I was like, I really felt for this guy because he was badly abused by his mother.
Yeah.
And he was like 20 or 21.
Damn.
He walks into his house and his mom is fucking his fiance.
Oh. Wait,
yeah. His female fiance. Yeah.
A little bit of.
Yeah. And she very much like a Munchausen's by proxy type of mom, like just all sorts of horrible things that she's done to this guy.
That's wild.
So he's like, oh man, I'm gonna go home to my fiance.
It's not even like his dad. It's like I'm so repulsed by you
horrible.
that I'm gonna do something gay now.
Dude.
Like I'm not even gonna play basketball on the same court. I'm gonna go play softball.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and he walked walked in on that.
He walked in.
I'll be damned.
And he just, I mean,
yeah, that would probably lead me to do something irrational.
No, yeah, and then he strangled his mom and she died.
There you go.
And he went to prison for I think it's horrible. And I know him and I haven't talked to him in a few years and if somehow he hears me,
keep it like that.
I respect the hell out of you, man. It was a little weird as a kid to like.
Wacky
to watch my boss hit a wall and then get blood on me, but that has inspired me to be a little more creative,
be a little more aggressive. Oh yeah,
not aggressive, but be more creative in the ways I teach lessons to my team.
Be a little bit more creative in the way you beat your wife.
He never beat his wife. He only killed his mom.
An angel. How old was he when all this went down? Not the stuff with you, but when it went down.
When it went down, he was like 20 or 21.
Goodness.
Yeah.
That's us, right?
Yeah.
You're how old?
I'm 25.
Yeah, dude, that's us, man.
But
shoot.
I kind of like really was trying to side with him and understand him and be empathetic.
Yeah.
And I left the job we just because I moved out and I was trying to just maintain a nice connection with him because I did have a soft spot for him.
Well, you're also kind of you're terrified of him.
I'm terrified. It's like a school shooter. It's like you go to the weird kid.
This is gonna be good.
You go to a weird kid.
Yeah.
And I did this all throughout high school. I give him a piece of candy.
It's just survival.
Yeah, piece of candy, or I give him a back rub, or I give him like a good hug, or dap him up, and then whatever.
How did you approach the back rub?
The back rub?
Yeah,
dude, I'm a natural.
Hey man.
Yeah, hey dude.
Put my mitts on you.
Yeah, hey, Cornelius or whatever, or Cody.
Cody.
Cody's that's a sleeper name.
Cody's a school shooter for sure. Cody might not do it, but that brother's thinking about it.
Dude,
that brother's practicing.
So
that brother's taking Call of Duty a little too seriously. For sure.
So I have a story about Cody.
Tell me about
the potential
Cody.
School shooter, someone who I gave candy to.
Yeah.
And I hope he's doing well now. But there was one time we were, I was in choir, and there's this like green room or whatever. You know, a green room.
Yeah.
You're creative. Green room.
Choir would do that to you.
Choir does that to you. But he was sitting there with his fucking arms on the bar. With like the vanity lights or whatever, just like looking down and like breathing. He was a skinny
thinking
dude.
about it.
So like when he breathed, his shoulders went back, and you're like fucked up when that happens.
Little bit of bird action right there, brother.
And then I walk in because everyone else is on stage, and I'm like, Cody, what's up, man? And then he says, I need a gun so I can end it right now.
Yeah, there you go.
And in that moment, I said,
that's an icebreaker.
Literally, I said, I'm gonna get the teacher. Just no empathetic skills in that moment, and I walked out in his moment of need where I think I really could have like shown him love.
Yeah,
and I just said, I'm not ready for that,
dude. How old would you have been?
Probably 17.
Yeah, man.
Hey, which shows that I was at least somewhat developed.
Shoot, man. Yeah, that's a tough one, brother. That's
why I give him candy. So those moments, it's not a betrayal.
Yeah.
It's I'm sure in his mind when he was thinking about getting the gun, he was like, well, Dawson gave me candy. You know, give him a pass. He's probably busy.
Here's some fun dip. You know, don't blow my head off when you go through my class.
Yeah. But his name was Cody. Wow, crazy, man.
Oh, Codys are scary, man.
Codys are scary.
I've never known a Cody that didn't make me sweat just a little bit. Just right on the brow.
Yeah.
You reminded me of a story. Man, I've been doing this podcast for 42 weeks now, and I feel pretty milked from all of my stories. But you just reminded me of one. I can't say, well, he is in jail, so I wonder. Oh, I used to play this game when I got bored in college when I got bored in class, I would play this game called, Who's in Jail Now? And I would just go onto my county's like jail website, and they had a website just with thumbnails of all of these of every convicted person. And I would just go through like 3rd grade. Scroll. Went to high school with him. Scroll. Oh, I went to kindergarten with him, didn't I? Like, just every time I would go on there would be at least one new person that I grew up with that would be in jail. So I'm scrolling through and I see this one kid. I'll just say his name is Bane, which
that's a good name. Is it Zane?
Bane.
Well, what's his real name?
Bane.
That's his actual name. Really?
So,
okay, shit.
That's another one you kind of got to be.
Dude, his parents gave the law enforcement the layup with that name.
You kind of got to be careful with that one. This is the same kid that well, actually here, Bane's got a couple loops on his belt for sure. I was in 6th grade, and Bane, I get a Google Drive notification from him. I've never talked to this kid ever. I get a Google Drive notification, and I'm thinking, what is this, So I open her up on the bus on the way to school on my iPhone, 5 or whatever it was. And I'm not making this up. It was a Google, there's Google Docs, right? Then there's Google Slideshow, Google Slides. That's what they would call it. It was a Google Slides project with the title, Why I'll Kill Myself. And I see this, And I'm sitting there on the bus like holy shit, you know?
Oh man.
And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I have no reaction.
Why me?
Why I'll kill myself. That is that's what it was titled. And it had a title slide. You know, you open it up, he did not get creative with it whatsoever. I thought if this was going to be his last project, you think he'd put in a little bit of effort. And it was a title slide, why I'll kill myself, and you put his first and last, like how you would in a school project, right at the bottom in like a lighter font. You know, Bane last name.
Can I ask a question? Were the transitions?
Yeah.
Well, I'll kill myself. The cube
spin. Oh yeah, like or it was like it was
the ripple.
Or like it like fades out like all estrally and fades back in.
My bitch dad, my bitch mom.
Yeah. Yeah. No, dude, he didn't get, or like the one where it's like in the middle, a diamond shape's created, and the next slide is like that diamond, and it like, no, that's what I'm saying. If this was going to be his last project, the dude did not Van Gogh it at all. And so the first slide was the introduction, and the next slide was the reasons. And all I could remember was like, no one, and it was bullet pointed, emphasis on bullet, and it was like, no one likes me. Next bullet point. I don't have a dad. Next point.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah,
Jesus.
like, okay. Next point. Like all of this, like very reason, like some stuff that a kid should be upset about, right? And I've known Bane my whole life. I mean, he's in jail now, so like I've known Bane my whole life. This wasn't. It's unfortunate that it didn't surprise me as much as it should have. It surprised me. That's not something that's not to get a Google Drive notification is already weird enough. To get a Google Drive notification that says Bane shared a Google slide with you titled "Why I Will Kill Myself." It didn't surprise me as much as it should have, just because I knew who this kid was. My whole life, he was an issue in every single class.
The bane of your existence.
The true, yeah, nice dude.
Yes.
In kindergarten, I was in kindergarten with him. Man, I don't know what I don't know how much Valium my teacher took before she came to class, but she had a project for all of us that was like, draw all of your other classmates. Fired. Like, you are setting up suicides in droves.
Oh, the little girl with the limp foot?
Yeah. Like, I drew you with you and your mom, but you don't have a dad, so I, stuff like that. So we're doing this project, and I remember, this is wild. I can't believe I remember this. This is kindergarten. I haven't spoke about this since it happened 20 years ago, But he drew me, and Bane could not draw. He did not understand the concept of a neck, or like a head. So a little bit of fetal alcohol syndrome for sure. He would draw people as just one circle and then arms and legs. But he made sure to point out that when he drew me, that circle took up the entire page.
Oh my God.
And he looked me right in the eye. We're all probably 6, And he goes, I put everybody on one page, but I put you in a separate one because I knew the other one wouldn't have enough space for you because of how fat you are. God. And I'm looking at this drawing of me that's genuinely just a giant oval, like giant oval the entire printer, printer printer paper page with two little arms and legs, and like everyone looked like Humpty Dumpty, but I looked like the wall, and man, dude, when he did that, dude, I knew, I was like, this is my sworn enemy. You're not gonna draw me like that, not in front of the girl that I really like, And man, so that was my first memory of Bane. That's when. Have you ever seen Megamind?
Of course.
When the prologue's happening and he's explaining growing up with Mega Man or whatever his name was, like all of the kids liked him, and I was over here trying to figure out how to freeze my fish, and that's when I knew he would be my sworn enemy. You remember which scene I'm talking about, right? And that was my moment. Obviously I'm Mega Man, but I'm the one being made fun of. A little role reversal.
Of course.
But it was in that moment.
Mega Man wouldn't go to jail.
No, dude. It was in that moment I knew. I was like, this is my nemesis. So, back to, the Unabomber manifesto of a Google slide project. It had probably two more slides. The third slide was just more points, or like it was like why this would benefit everyone else. And you got to remember, this is 6th grade.
Damn.
Yeah. That kind of puts light to kind of where I grew up, is like, this wasn't common, but this wasn't uncommon. Because I have another story about him after this one. So, and then the 4th slide was the end,
Well, obviously it wasn't.
Well, you have to put a period at that. It's a bad project if you don't have an end title.
Yeah.
Didn't even cite his sources, And so I see this, and I'm pretty naive. So I didn't tell anyone because I thought I would get in trouble. You know when you're a kid and you see or hear something, and it's like, a parent or an adult would want you to tell them about it, but you in your head are like, for some reason, I know that if I tell someone about this, I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
When you're
going to cause too many problems.
But you're not going to get in trouble. So obviously I didn't tell anyone. What I did
That's crazy.
What I did was, I knew I had an extra Bible in my room.
Of course.
So I said, I'm going to give this Bible to Bane, and hopefully it'll help him out. So I tried to sneak the Bible into the front of my pants, which is, I kind of,
whole Bible.
That's enough to take me to hell.
No, that's a sin.
It is.
Did you put it over the underwear or in the underwear?
Probably put it over the underwear, not realizing that if I had put it in the underwear, it wouldn't have fallen through my pants like it did. Because then it fell out of my pants, and then my mom saw it, and she was like, as a mom, you're looking at your
kid's got a Bible in his pants.
You're looking at your fat 6th grade son, and a Bible just fell out of his gym shorts.
Yeah,
and what goes through your head?
That's more concerning than my son creating a Google slide about how he's going to kill himself.
Absolutely, I'm from. Where is the Bible Belt? Is Illinois the Bible Belt?
I think it's just the Midwest, right? No. It's like Alabama, Kentucky, Kansas.
I'm from Central Illinois. That is Bible Belt proper. Like, that is like kind of how Washington D.C. isn't in Washington. It's in Maryland. Where I'm from was kind of like that. It wasn't part of the Bible Belt, but it was in junction to it.
I see.
So, Bible falls out of my pants, unscathed, Lord. And Mom goes, "Hey, Nino, why is there a Bible in your pants?" And I start crying because obviously I feel like I'm in trouble now. Well, Bane, Google slide. So I end up showing my mom the Google slide, and my mom at the time my mom now is like 50 something. All right. So I'm
She
20.
doesn't look it.
My mom listens to every episode.
All right.
She's also been a guest 4 times.
Well, I just want to say,
Go ahead. I brought her to Elevate one time.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you want to take that back?
No, I'm just going to reiterate that I think your
She
mom...
lost 400 pounds
Really?
naturally.
Wow.
No liposuction.
Well, I mean, I saw the picture of your mom on your fridge.
Oh, the one with us in the Coca-Cola polar bear?
Yeah. And she seems like a wonderful mother.
She
and
used to
looks
be
great.
like 600 pounds.
Really?
Yeah, lost it all naturally.
Yeah,
It's like probably the most impressive thing I've seen in my entire life. Like she turned into a different woman.
Mm.
It was incredible. So say that again, and I'll rip your head off.
That's fair.
It would have been funny if you thought the other woman on my fridge was my mom. It's like, no, that's my dead grandma.
Yeah.
If you said anything about her, I'd rip your
that's fair.
I'd rip your head off too.
From tip to taint.
Yeah,
Somehow
her name
my head gets in
was my grandma did not know her real name until she was about 80 years old, because she was adopted with 13 other Catholic girls, and they all had these names, and she just wanted to be called Sherry, like her whole life. And we were at a family reunion with all of her adopted sisters. Tons of people, tons of casserole. I mean, it was awesome. My brother won a pair of shoes. I mean, it was the most Midwest. It was incredible. And I don't know why, but like all of the sisters have their birth certificates there, because it's kind of like we all grew up in the same Catholic house, having to eat pencils and like really like brave the winters. So like they all brought their birth certificates to kind of like remind everyone where they came from. And my grandma's looking at it, and obviously she had known this once in her life, but she forgot. And my dad's looking at his mother's birth certificate with grandma there. And my dad goes, "This isn't your birth certificate, but it has your last name duly, because that's what my grandpa's last name is, but it doesn't say Sherry." And my grandma goes, "What do you mean? What?" And my dad goes, "Your name is Alfrieda." And she's like, No, it's not. And my dad's like, "Mom, I'm 50 years old, and you're 80, and neither of you've never known your real name until right now." She was like, "Well, shoot, I guess that is my name." And it was the most funny moment, but also like, where else are you going to get to experience a moment like that?
Yeah.
Where like your 80-year-old grandma learns her real name for the first time after 80 years. Crazy. And she just rolls it off her back like she just learned that they installed a new stop sign.
Yeah.
Speaking of stop signs, my grandpa, her husband, look at Lars. Oh, hey, Bubba. He has a little bit of the P and S. You know what the P and S is?
Papa John's.
Prominent nipple syndrome. That dude has got the nipples
Your
of
grandpa?
No, Lars.
Lars. Okay.
That dude's got the nipples of a damn I mean, if they made like a popping sensory, like a sensory toy out of him, it would probably fly off the shelves. He's got some nipples for a dude. Yeah. So my grandpa, he was famous because he's like a contractor, farmer, and there's this like hill that you have to drive up and over, and you could never see the stop sign until you got over the hill. So what does my grandpa do? Well, obviously, and this is what he became famous in our town for. Our town of 1,200 people. 1,200.
It's a lot.
That's
a lot. If you try to fit them all in this room.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
So what he became famous for is he said, just bolt in another stop sign on top of it. So there's an intersection in my house that has the world's first double stop sign. It's a
Wow.
stop sign, and if this is the post, this is the sign. There's a same length of one that's bolted on top. That's post and stop sign, and my dad,
Perfect stack.
he was just like, my dad was like, son of a bitch, like. That's the dumbest thing I've heard.
But
Like,
also
there's so
ingenious.
there's so many better ways to handle that. No one's ever done that, and that's just who my grandpa is. Like, let's just screw it. Just put another stop sign on top of that bitch, man.
Yeah.
Put another stop sign. This is the same, and my grandpa doesn't listen to the podcast, and if he did hear this, he knows it's out of love. I love my grandparent,
Oh.
So there's a lot of complaints about how much deer cross the road in one section of my hometown. So they're thinking about, what can we do to fix this? And my grandpa goes, this is in like a township meeting. He's a part of like, what do you call it? Like the committee that that decides when bingo night is and if the speed limit should go down 5,
Town hall committee.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Town hall. And he goes in front of the town hall. But what if we're having problems? He had vocal box cancer.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could get cancer there.
Voice, not just like larynx cancer or throat cancer or skin cancer here. No, it was genuinely voice box cancer. That's the term. So
sounds like a band name.
It's an incredible band name. So he sounds like a banshee. And he goes, why don't we just, if there's deer, hear me out, folks. If there's deer, true story, deer's crossing the road in this part of the road. And what we got to do is we have to move the deer crossing sign so the deer cross in a different part of the road for wherever we put it. I think that's going to solve the issue right there. And everyone's just looking at him like, just half of them don't want to believe it, but they're sitting there like, well,
this guy put a stop sign on top of another stop sign. Surely he's
of a bitch. That might actually. The other half is like looking at each other like, I can't believe he just said that. So my grandpa wanted to move. If the deer are crossing at the sign, then you have to move the sign so the deer go and cross over there, where the sign is now, because the deer are reading that sign. That was his proposal.
Maybe your grandfather's tapped into some sort of spiritual law.
They moved the sign. They moved the sign, and not a damn thing changed.
Ah, damn.
In fact, no deer crossed where they moved it, and they kept.
Well,
so there were even more accidents because no one saw the sign.
That shows how much respect your grandfather had in his community, because they were like, "Whoa,
too much respect."
Right. This is the goddamn guy who put up.
This is the guy who put up the double stop sign. I say we do it. Say aye if you want to move it, and the whole aye, dude.
Everyone's like, yeah, move it.
So the Bible falls out of my pants,
of course,
and my mom sees it. I show her the slideshow, and obviously she's like, "Holy shit! This is not something that my kid needs to be dealing with." Being sent a slideshow why I'm gonna take my own life by another 10-year-old.
And honestly, if this kid can't afford PowerPoint, maybe he should fucking
like
kill himself.
Adobe Express. You freaking loser. Yeah, he lived in a mobile home. Oh yeah.
Oh, you trying to make me feel bad?
Yeah, no, dude.
I'm just kidding.
That's like half of my town. Oh, I bet we lived in like a brick mobile home. It was the same size, just made out of bricks.
Nice.
And so we go to school the next day, and I'm showing the principal, because mom was like, I'm gonna come with you, but you need to show this to your principal. And I'm like, all right. So I showed it to them, and they sorted it all out. So he he stayed. He was still here, and then I want to say that was 6th grade. In I want to say I want in around seventh grade, I think. Him and this other kid named Randy decided that they wanted to ditch school one day. So they had devised a plan. They made a map out of crayons and paper and whatever. 7th grade, we've kind of got a bit more of a consciousness now. Like 7th grade is when a lot of us start hitting puberty, or have already passed it. We're becoming a little bit more mature, about to go into high school. And they make this map, which I don't know why. We all had phones. And devise this plan to skip school. So one day, the alarms go off because one of the doors got opened. And Randy and Bane had a plan because the place that we went to for 7th and 8th grade was in a different town. But if you ran far enough through the cornfield, you would get back to the town that we're from. So we all lived in this town, but 7th and 8th grade were in a building in this town. It's really weird. It's like a joint custody of school districts. So they had run through the cornfield, assuming if we run through the cornfield, no one's going to see us.
Of course.
But what they didn't account for is the fact that harvest had already happened and the cornfields were completely bare. So they were just running through an open field. These 2 random kids, cops come, 3, 4 cop cars, all with their tasers out, about to tase these 7th graders, which I'm thinking there's a little too much power going in their heads.
No, they should have used a real gun.
Yeah, they should have just shot them both in their feet. Run now, bitch.
Yeah, run now.
And they got pretty famous for that. I mean, this kid's been a menace.
He's been through the ringer.
And then I totally just obviously I went to high school in a completely different school district, and then I obviously moved down here for college, and as I was just going through the Woodford County jail, system, I see him, and I'm like, damn, brother's still up. Brother's still up to it. I saw a few more people on there that I went to school with, man.
What did he get arrested for?
I don't remember. Probably
something cool.
Probably something awesome like battery or something.
I mean, dude, his name's... yeah, probably
something sweet.
Yeah, probably, and you know what? Whoever was battered, they probably deserved it.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with Bane.
I think it was his little sister.
All right. Well, speaking of Bane, I want to give you the opportunity to maybe deal with some trauma there. So Bane is sitting there, and he's on the bridge. He's on a bridge in San Francisco.
We didn't have any. Okay, so
yeah, in San Francisco.
We had not built bridges yet. We weren't there.
Well, all right. No, just to make sure you're in the zone. You're on the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. Is that what it's called? The Golden Gate Bridge, or whatever that bridge is, and it's in Illinois, where you grew up for some reason.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just right over your house.
Yeah, wow.
Bane goes up there.
A bridge over land.
And I don't know why it's there. There's not even connecting roads to it. It's just it's up there. Somehow Bane got up there. Bane's up there.
Okay.
And for some reason you're up there too. And you see Bane, he jumps off, ready to kill himself.
Yeah.
But then he catches himself and he realizes, wait,
that's powerful.
Maybe I need to, maybe I could change. Maybe my ways can get better.
Wow.
And you walk up to him.
Sounds like he convinced himself.
Yeah. You walk up to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you do? Push him?
I could blame it on the Tourette's.
Yeah, blame it on the Tourette's.
Like I had a bad tick.
Well, what would you say as you're pushing him?
I would say, probably pick a better font. And none of the words were centered.
Also put a period at the end of the end.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah. That's probably what I would do if I ever ran into the situation where the Golden Gate Bridge was over about 34 acres of corn and beans.
Yep.
And the suicidal kid from my 6th grade class was trying to jump off. Not a scenario that I'd ever thought about before, but I'll be damned to say it might not happen. Yeah, dude. Dawson just shared a harrowing tale of a tale that I enjoyed having with him. But given that, given my audience, I would have to cut. I'm happy I was there for it.
Sounded a lot like TikTok.
Yeah.
Banning me and silencing me.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, I'm not saying I'm on their side, but did you see that in Australia? I think they're either going to pass it or they have passed it, and I'm gonna put a link to the article in the description of this episode. But banning all social media for kids 16 and under.
I think that's a great idea.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Now, I'm a guy who's all for access to knowledge, and I don't like things getting banned. I don't think, base, I don't want anything to be banned. I think that's a slippery slope, because then you start banning information, you start banning, But if we're going to do it, 16 and under is perfect. Social media has single-handedly ruined so many children's lives. I believe you and I were lucky. I remember exactly where I was as if it were 9/11 when I first got Instagram. It was at my friend Sebastian's house. We were probably 5th, 6th grade. And we were, our moms were talking in the kitchen, cooking and cleaning, doing woman stuff, and we were out in the living room playing with Bakugan, and we went up to both of our moms, and we were like, can we get Instagram, please? And they were both like, okay, fine, but we're gonna, blah, blah.
We're gonna monitor it.
Yeah,
no. No, they won't.
And, I think we were lucky because it was still in the era of it's very new. It's very regulated, and there is no culture of popular or attention grabbing stuff. The content was very either quick comedy, because we're also coming off of Vine. It was photos. Instagram was all photos or video, but it wasn't like reels scrolling. It was a post, but it was a video.
Hey, look what I'm doing.
Yeah. I have this video. I wonder if I can pull up archives from my Instagram, but I've been posting on my Instagram since 2014. And I've archived all of the posts, and talking about cringe, I have probably some of the weirdest videos. I've got some wild videos, and those kind of videos and whatnot, I'm kind of glad I archived. But yeah, when did you get Instagram and everything?
I got.
Or what was your first social media?
My first social media was actually Snapchat.
Ooh.
No.
I got Snapchat later.
I only got Snapchat because there were a bunch of girls I liked that were on Snapchat, and I was like, well, can't beat them, join them.
Okay.
But no, actually, Facebook was my first. And I remember I was a weird kid, a normal adult, weird kid, and all of my posts from like maybe 7th grade in middle school to like my sophomore year of high school were pictures of my friend's dog. The dog's name was Wiener.
Good.
And it was this like disgusting, shameful, pitiful little fucking teacup chihuahua that the tongue was hanging out of its mouth.
Was it white?
Like it was tan, yellow, golden, you could say, a golden chihuahua. And the thing that I fucking hated about Wiener was she would poop, and the poop would get stuck because she was just so small, and she'd walk around with like poop hanging out.
Yeah.
But all of my posts were about Wiener, and when I made a Tinder. Sorry, I struggle to remember Tinder because I've been with the same woman.
How old were you?
I probably like 14 or 15.
Goodness.
Yeah, come on, man.
Wait.
Yeah, 14 or 15.
They had an age thing on there, right?
Yeah, but all you had to do is there was no
Scroll
control
down.
back then. Literally
Back
no control.
then, there
you just
wouldn't
say,
be any control.
What's your birthday?
96.
Yeah, 90, yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
I'm 18.
I would always go to 96.
Yeah, no, that's I did that too because my brother was born in 96.
Well, you would have been what?
98.
Yeah, I'm 2002.
Man, you don't even remember the towers falling.
I just missed it.
Dude, all I remember is I don't remember. I was 3 years old, but my mother and my father, they told me that I was I was at school and they ended up taking me home because my father's from New York and he was very worried about people that were up in there in the towers or I guess in the pavement or in the rubble. Yeah. And
or what was left of them after
what was
they
left
jumped.
of them. Yeah. Cowards, just want to say. Boom. But apparently I was running around the house
as an airplane.
Yeah. No, I was saying Ish Allah, Ish Allah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Your eyes were rolled
I was
back
always
in
a
your
hipster
head.
as a kid, dude. I always fought for the
Just
underdog.
the whites of your eyes were showing. You had a box cutter in your hand for some reason.
Yeah. Is it?
You wrapped a towel around your head.
No, I did.
A little bit of cosplay.
I did.
Yeah.
Nah, we're gonna have to probably cut that part too.
No, that one's staying.
That one's staying.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, that's funny.
No, I really don't remember the 9/11. I wish I did
It's too bad.
Because with all you young kids, post 2000, I feel like that gives me a leg up to be like, I remember, but I don't.
For us, it'd be COVID, and that's
COVID's
such
so boring.
It's so.
We got sick.
But don't you remember when it was happening?
I do.
That was kind of.
I remember the panic.
There was a little bit of adventure to it because all of us with that zombie fantasy, we're kind of like.
I bought a gun that like the day the lockdown started.
Yeah.
Like I was like, how do I get a gun?
I sharpened so many sticks.
Yeah.
It was interesting, man. I remember that same grandma and grandpa, the double stop sign.
Double stop sign, man.
I was over at their house and it was like when it was really ramping up and I was talking to them. I'm like, look, guys, grandma, grandpa, I love you guys, but this is going to be like the last time you see us for a while. Me and my little brother's name is Declan. I said, Declan and I are going to go run to the grocery store. We're going to get you, give me a list. We're going to get you everything that you need. But after this, we're not going to see each other for a while because it spreads fast. You guys, I was just like, y'all are going to die if you get it. So, and grandma and grandpa, we are talking about genuinely the two most traditional man and woman ever. Grandpa Daryl does not touch the sink. Grandma makes him supper every single night. They watch TV afterwards. He watches his Westerns. She does all of like the most traditional people, and grandma and grandpa, we don't gotta worry about nothing. It's just another flu. And me being a conservative guy too, but I'm also not stupid. I'm like, okay, sure. They at the time I had a bit of skepticism about it too. Like, I get it. It's probably not, it's probably not going to be a zombie outbreak, but we still need to take it seriously. You guys will die if you get it. Oh, we don't got blah, blah, blah. And I just remember sitting in their kitchen in that moment thinking like, man, I'm going to look back on this moment because this, and I remember saying to my grandma, this is the first, because I'm sure they've lived through, what they lived through the Cold War, World War II, Vietnam. So this was my first world event. So even though it was kind of a pussy world event, it was still a world event.
Oh, we got to get toilet
paper. So I remember sitting there thinking, man, I'm gonna look back on this, and do you remember where you were when you first found out that school was going to be canceled for like where like that message you got where it was like school will be online for the foreseeable future? Do you, because I remember exactly where I was. Do you?
I was out of school at that
you were,
point.
Oh, yes,
so
you were.
I was a
Yes,
9 to 5 man at a call center.
College?
No, I did about a year of college, and then I started. No, well, I went for about a year, and then I realized
where?
To Valencia.
Okay, yeah.
And then I realized I'm just gonna start lying on my resume, and it's worked for me ever since.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
I was working at a call center, which sucked.
Like kind of one of those where you go in and like everyone has computers and you've got the dividers.
Yeah. And there's coaches boss that are like, you gotta sell. Selling is great. Oh, never let a no stop you.
You had a script.
Keep going. Not really.
Really?
Not really. We had guidelines.
Creative liberties.
There was creative liberty. And
your boss was Indian?
No.
Breaking boundaries.
That's what made us better.
Well,
because we were homegrown.
Amen, bro.
We weren't like extorting, cheap labor in another country. We said we're gonna do it. And
call center.
Yeah. Now,
how long did you do that, dude?
I was in a that was like my first office job. I think it was in 2019.
Your first adult job, would you say?
Yeah, because it was $17 an hour, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be rich. Turns out it's not a ton of money. Not at all. But yeah, I did that for a little bit, and then I realized
how long?
About maybe like 8 months. I think I worked there, wow. and then at that moment, I was like, I could become a manager at one of these pretty easy. They don't really do much.
The call center.
At a call center, and then right after COVID happened, and I just really hated that company that I was with. I was like, I could just lie. So I put on my resume that I managed a call center at 20 years old for 2 years.
There you go.
And someone bought it. And I then worked at another call center.
No one reads the resume. They look at what's in bold, which is what? Name, location, and the titles of your jobs.
Yep.
If they're even interested, they'll read the summary. The list of skills, we all put it on there.
Organization.
No one
handling, time management.
No one cares.
Yeah, it's fucking
anyone
stupid.
can put that, but we still put it on.
But what I hate, because I did a little bit of recruiting while I was there, when people add more than like 4 skills for like a generic job. It's like, dude, I don't need to know. You're applying to be a grunt worker at a call center. I don't need to know that you're good at video editing. I don't need to know that you know how to like. In
case you need promo.
Yeah, like I don't need to know that you know how to work an engine.
Yeah,
it's like just tell me. Just put the generic.
It has to be a specialized job.
If it's a specialized job, or let's say
it has to be a
creative
specialized job,
or let's say like the kava bar that I manage. If someone's like, well, I can also bring this to the table, I'm like, okay, that's cool.
I've brewed kava before.
Yeah,
I've brewed kratom before. I know that you need to do this with the cheese mesh and have to do this.
And then, but not even that. Like on a resume, just like you saying that you worked at a kava bar, I'm like, cool, yeah, you got it.
Of course.
And then
customer service.
Yeah.
Like that is absolutely. This is funny because like I'm really good at making resumes. Like I'm really into like grammar and like fixing people's stuff and whatnot. So just yesterday, like last night, I made one of my coworkers a resume because she was like, "Oh, I can't," because she was trying to use this free service. That when she finally made this amazing looking resume, it was like, all right, pay $15, and I'm just like, why do people still fall for that? Just go to Google Docs. Don't make a slideshow and why you'll kill yourself. Open up a new. Google Docs has resume templates.
Yep.
Go there. It'll have everything lined up and just fill everything in. So she was like, "Oh, I'm really upset because I really need to make this resume because I think she's gonna be replacing me when I transfer." So that's why she's making her resume, and she used this free website, and it's gonna make her pay. The resume looked good, but it's like, you don't need this. So I said, send me all the info, but she couldn't because you had to pay to even download it. So I just had her take photos of the screen.
Damn.
I threw all those photos into Chat GPT and said, here's a photo of a resume taken off of a phone. Can you compile all the information from the resume and put it in a concise format?
And can you also say that you love me?
Yeah,
So
and hold my hand and tell me that even though I've felt alone and lonely and friendless for the last 2 years, that maybe one day that pain might end.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I threw it into ChatGPT, and it like made a nice format, and then I made a template. I threw it in, and her grammar was horrible. I had ChatGPT fix it, and I finished it and I sent it to her, and she said, "Is that it?" I said, "You don't need more than this. You 3 job
yes.
What's the word? Job histories?
3 job titles.
Yeah, 3 is enough. Here's a summary, a list of skills, and since it's the job I'm doing right now, who better to make the resume?
Done.
I'm doing it right now. I know what you need to be because I'm the one doing it. So the skills have to be specialized. So my job right now is surgical specialty coordinator. I'm in the surgical core. There's this. The core is the term for the giant room of all of the supplies, and there's probably 200 different items in there that I'm in charge of. Ordering, organizing, stocking, and then getting them ready for every surgery that's going on the next day. So let's say we have a doctor, Dr. Adeguame. He's an orthopedic surgeon. He only operates on Monday, but that's a talented dude. He does like 5 knee replacement surgeries, 2 hip replacement surgeries, and some other surgery all in one day.
Damn.
Those are like 2-hour surgeries. He does them back to back, and he doesn't stop. A patient will come in already anesthetized, and he'll just start ripping shit open, replacing the knee, and he'll say, all right, next. I mean, the guy's a beast. So I pick those cases on Friday, right? Because
So you're just giving him scalpels and
no, I'm not.
buckets.
I'm not in the operating room.
You're just taking care of the inventory.
There you
of
go.
Those
Yep.
items.
Yep. So
You ever put a little bit of peanut butter on a scalpel?
Only if they're allergic to it.
Okay.
I also get to see what the patients are allergic to, and I'm not breaking HIPAA because I'm not saying the patient's name, but
Dawson.
It's funny to see what they're allergic to. Like you'll see, like this patient is allergic to morphine and amphetamines and alcohol, and it's just like, man, this dude's life sucks. Or like one of them was, I'm not making this up, it said dog extract. Dude, what the hell is dog extract?
The fuck is that?
And when would that be an issue in here?
Dude,
Like, I spilt the dog extract on the table.
you know what? Okay. I was driving.
What's dog extract?
I was driving home the other day and I saw this sign on the side of the road that said pet smoothies.
Oh, man.
And I remember in that moment, I was like, I'm never going to be able what the fuck is that? And I was like, pet smoothies? Like, no, thanks. I'm full. That's what dog extract is.
Dude, like, that's one of those things where if you think about it for longer than 5 seconds, you understand what it is. But in that initial moment, you're driving like, what the hell did that say? Pet smooth, like throwing kittens in a ninja bullet. Just
do you want leaf or extract? Dog.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh. So yeah, like this is how I kind of explain it to people. The reason why I love my job is my job. There is no other job in the world that will get you closer to the surgery without having nursing education. Like, for my role, you don't have to have any nursing education. I have a bachelor's in music production, and I work in surgery. That's like, if God ain't real, I don't know who did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I got the job by accident. Genuine accident. I moved down here to Florida to go to school and I get my degree. I'm still doing music things. I'm still doing audio things. I mean, what is this right now, right? I'm still working on music. I still do stuff. So I'm still, and I say this to convince myself that I'm doing fine because I'm still using my degree and my knowledge, but I needed a job out of college. So I get a job at the kava bar, Suva, R.I.P. And I'm doing that, and mom's obviously like, oh, you're wasting your time working at the kava bar. That's you need to get a job that's actually going to hold you over. And I'm trying to tell her like, I'm not dumb. Like, I have this job because I love doing this, but I also have it because I'm not gonna get a 9-to-5 with benefit job right out of college. But I need to have something. So I'm trying to tell her like, I get it. That I don't want to do this as my main job either. I mean, I would love to, but when we're talking about what I'm actually receiving, I don't want to do this as my main job. But I have to have something. And I have the manager at the kava bar saying she wants me to work there. So why would I not take it?
No. If you love the space, take it.
And I need to do it because I need money, and this is giving me money right now. So I'm just going to do this job to hold me over until I get a real job that then I can do this on the side, right? So Mom and I argue about that and whatnot. And then I'm talking to this friend of the family that I have down here in Florida, and he works at I almost said it. He works at the hospital. And he was like, kid, because I had gone to a couple Thanksgivings with them. They're kind of like, since I don't have any family down here, like I've been by myself here in Florida for like the last 3 years or so.
It's metal, bro.
Yeah, man. And they've kind of been my pseudo family. And he says, well, I work in supply chain at this company. Maybe I can get you a job in Kissimmee. So I said, sure. And I go and interview and I get the job. I was teaching at, so I was working the kava bar, teaching at the college that I graduated from.
Damn.
I went back to teach.
Fuck.
That felt good.
That is cool.
I was kind of like, all right, sweet. So I'm teaching there. The part that I left out is I was teaching 8-year-olds.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
But it sounds cooler when I leave that part out.
No, but right? I think that's again. I said this when you came in. I think you are making it right now, genuinely. For someone who came down here with no family,
yeah,
you really
by myself.
Yeah,
like the first, I graduated high school, and then 4 days later, I moved I moved down here. I did not
Mm.
want to wait. I did not want to waste any time.
You said I'm gonna start living.
Yeah. I
That's cool.
got accepted to before my senior year even started.
Mm.
You know. And like with I started with a class of like 30 people. It goes by months. It's not years, right? It goes by months. And on graduation day, I walked with probably 6 of them.
Yep.
Everyone else dropped out. So even then, I still felt like, well, shit. I have a degree in music production. It's not oboe performance. You know what I mean? It's not something like, because I almost went down that path. Because I've told you I'm a professionally trained opera singer.
Yes, you are.
So for a while, I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a degree in opera.
I respect that. I know a couple opera singers who, one of them from the Villages.
I think you told me about this. Yeah.
Devin is his name. He made it in all
you
intents and purposes.
You can get a real job doing it.
Yeah. But
it's a slim
chance, and the money is not
slim
great.
avenue.
Yeah,
slim avenue.
Unless you, but the thing is, what I learned about that industry is that it is a dying art.
Oh yeah,
it is a beautiful art, but it's upheld by people who love the art. It's just
how much longer
people just donating and being like, yes, keep singing opera. I'll build a new opera house. Keep it going. But like the majority of opera enjoyers, and I'm fairly certain this is true, it's like a median age of like 68.
And how much so that that person says donate to build this new? It could be a school, an opera house, a performance hall.
Yep.
Every time a venue, for the lack of better terms, every time a venue is built, each time one gets built, when does that number become less and less? So I agree. I do not think that any kind of music, I do not think that there is any kind of music that will ever become a true dying art. But I do think that the physical aspect of it could be a dying art. There are more reggaeton concerts than there are
bluegrass concerts.
or jug band shit like that. The art isn't dying.
That's a good point.
But the monetization of it is.
The monetization of opera is dwindling.
It was dwindling when I was doing it when I was in 5th grade. I mean, I got taken in as the apprentice under the master of the opera house when I was probably 4th or 5th grade, and even then, it was very much. I mean, I didn't understand a lot back then. Obviously, I was a kid thrown into this world of these adults that do this for not for a living, but do it like it's their living.
Yeah.
I didn't understand in that time, I wasn't aware enough in the world where I could look at a man or a woman in costume performing, doing what they love. I wasn't smart enough yet to understand that this person has a job, has a life, has a family outside of this. This isn't the only thing that they do. So it's tough, and I kind of fought with my mom about this too when I was choosing college. I think I want to do music business. I think I want to do this, that. And she's obviously, and I feel for her, in the moment I was really upset with her, but looking back on it, I understand why she was so upset. I mean, think about it, okay? You've spent so much money and so much time supporting your child who is talented,
Damn straight.
doing this, going to it, driving him this has been her life. And then now he's deciding colleges, and he says he wants to go into music like audio mixing. Are you prepared for that? As a do you see yourself having kids?
I do.
Okay.
And
Are you prepared for that?
yes,
Yeah.
my experience with my father was that he always followed his dreams,
Mm-hmm.
which I respected the hell out of, and I still do. I still root him on, and he's doing short films and stuff.
That's all.
He's-
How old is your dad?
He's 60.
Is
60.
where can these short films be seen?
There's
YouTube
a couple
or
on
something?
YouTube. He was in an actual blockbuster. He was in what's it called? He was not a big part. He was like a
Yeah.
side character,
Yeah,
a background character even.
but
The man
still.
from Left Field.
Yeah.
He's in that. He's like just supposed to be playing like a 14-year-old boy who's playing baseball.
Yeah.
But he was 30 when he
Yeah.
when he filmed it.
That's just
But-
Hollywood.
Yeah, they're
right?
like this guy looks like a boy.
That's
Give him a baseball bat.
that's the America cinema syndrome of like
Yeah.
High School Musical, but they're all 38.
Yeah, with me, I myself am a creative type.
Of course.
I've been in a few bands. I did a
Mhm.
solo thing on Spotify.
Mhm.
Now I'm a drummer. Ayo, Dad Bug, shout out. It's on Spotify. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
You guys
But-
performed at the party you threw for Halloween, and I didn't understand it. Dad bod,
Dad Bug.
Dad bug.
Think of Papa Roach
Yeah.
and then rinse it off. And
Can
clean it.
you explain that? How it started? Why it's called Dad bug, and who is part of it?
So Dad Bug, to go. All right, so I'm gonna go back to when I was born.
Please.
I'm just kidding. One of my friends from high school, his name's Bryce, another creative type. All of our friend group, we all just kind of went and did something
Yeah.
creative. We're all in a band right now, all like 17 of us. It's crazy.
Wow.
But in different bands.
Yeah.
But one of my friends started a YouTube channel. It's called Zoo Quap. Really, really funny.
Zook.
And he met another YouTube sketch comedy group called Wizards with Guns. And
That's what we were talking about earlier, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
and we all started hanging out at these parties, just like hanging out at their house, just chilling. Really, really funny guys. And then they always had they always had instruments in their living room, like a full setup for
Uh-huh.
jamming and shit. And one
I
day
love
we just
that.
started playing, and I didn't play drums for like probably 4 or 5 years before I started playing again
Mhm.
with them. And we all just kind of sat down, and like we finally got like the right order. I was on drums. Mitch, one of the wizards, was on guitar. Sabrina, my fiance, started singing, and then her brother Danny started playing bass. And we sat down and we're like, holy shit, we're all kind of good. It's weird. And then the day came where we started practicing very consistently. Like every week we would just have a jam session, and then we
Yeah.
decided that we needed a band name. And that conversation took 4 hours.
It always does.
4 hours
Of
to
course.
the point where like I think that we just threw out so many random fucking names. Like I had some wild ideas. I wanted to call the band Mitch, which is our guitarist's name, because he's a very like self-reserved person, and he hated it. And that was that was one of our bits that we did.
Okay.
Was that we'd just be like, let's call the band Mitch, and Mitch was like, aha, it's funny. And then that joke just kept happening for like weeks, and it got really old. But we started like naming bands in like the most simple, like dumbing them down and simplifying them. So like Red Hot Chili Peppers would just be like color vegetable, you know? And then
Oh, Papa Roach.
and then Papa
Okay.
Roach, we were like, I think I said like, what about Dad Bug? Get it, Papa Roach? And then we were all so tired and mad at each other
Said screw it.
that we were like, fuck it, yeah, I think that would look good on a t-shirt.
So then you guys are also each a bug.
Correct. Yes, we all eat. Yes, I'm glad you remembered that. Because Sabrina calls us all out. Sabrina is Worm.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Really.
Mitch, the guitarist, is Mantis, because he's a lengthy guy.
Yeah.
Danny is Mothman, kind of an outlier.
Kind of
It's a
ruined.
bug, but
Kind of ruined the whole shtick with that one.
I liked it. Yeah, Sabrina was like, "You can't. It's not a bug," but I was like, "It's
Screw
Mothman.
it, yeah.
It's fucking cool.
It is
I like
Mothman.
that." And then I'm Slug
Nice.
because I leave a slime trail every time I
And
walk.
you drag behind the tempo when you drum.
That's the worst thing you can say.
But dude, like
was good.
the first time she said slug, I was like, all I can think about is like calling someone slug because they're off tempo. But you're not.
I'm always speeding up.
Yeah.
Always.
Fast slug.
I'm a fast slug.
Turbo.
I really just get too excited and I'm like, I'm just gonna do this fill,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go from like 100 BPM to like 112. But it's gradual enough in a way where hopefully most people won't notice.
So you guys have music out, right?
We do, yeah.
Out?
We have a single out called
Distro
Play
Kid.
Pretend.
Play Pretend.
Yeah.
Well, links to that will be in the description. That along with your dad's videos. If so, after we record this, if you want to send those over to me.
So, this is a fun little anecdote. So the reason I brought all that up is because and you asking if like I'm ready for my kids to be like I want to pursue something creative. I chose not to pursue anything creative professionally because I saw my dad grinding at it, and he found a spot where he gets to do something he loves every day, and I'm proud as hell as him for it. But I do know that like both him and I are similar in the way that we have very, very lofty goals that we really, really want to achieve.
Yeah.
And I think to some degree in his mindset, he didn't hit that number that he was looking for.
Okay.
Never landed that like really big role, which I still believe he can do it 100%.
Yeah.
But growing up with that, I realized if I want to start a family, this generation in my family's lineage is gonna have to just nose to the paper, get a job.
Yeah.
Which is what I chose to do. But I'm very, very fortunate because
you can have a job and still
be pursuit. Yeah. But originally I like I worked at a radio station in high school, which was really cool. My voice was always broken like this.
Nice.
And I wanted to do that full time because I just really enjoyed it. I also wanted to be a director, of course. Like I wanted to be in front of a screen or in front of a microphone somewhere. But I don't know. I saw that like my dad tried his best and he didn't get it. So I was like, I think this is a sign for me to just like find a job that I genuinely enjoy, which I have. I really love my job. It's fucking crazy. I just get to talk to people, and I'm super fortunate.
It's awesome.
So yeah, if my kid were to come to me and say, "Hey, Daddy, me, your son, Sora, your son Xehanort from Kingdom Hearts.
Wow.
Why'd you name me that, Dad?
Yeah, I would.
I want to be an actor."
Yeah.
I would say, "Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do this right.
Of course.
I'm going to sign you up for this class. We're going to get this. We're going to do it together. We're going to fucking make it happen.
Yeah.
And you're going to try. And you're going to succeed. And success just changes in what it means throughout your life. And I've found that my version of success has been achieved, and I want to keep going and see how far
you achieve one aspect of success and you're happy with it. So you create a new aspect of success that you haven't hit.
Exactly.
And then you follow that, you hit that. I mean, that's where I am right now, right? It's like, when I was still living in Illinois, if I could look at where I am, if that version of me could look at where I am now, he would think, holy shit, like that's, you have your own place that you're like, all of the money's coming from you. Like mom and dad aren't a part of it. Like you're paying for this and that. You have a job. You got like, that would be like, that version of me would be like, holy shit, dude. Like that is, you are like the best. But me now, I'm obviously, I'm like, this is not enough at all. Like I am behind so much that I can't even measure it. But that's insane. That's
insane.
insane to think about, but
But
that's just who I am, and I think
shows how
that's
ambitious you are.
that.
well.
Yeah. I read somewhere one day it said the people who feel like they have done enough are not doing enough.
Mm.
And the people that constantly feel like they are not doing enough are doing more than enough.
Yeah.
And I was like, that in a, not, I don't like talking about myself in like a, oh, he's so, cool kind of way. But like when I hear that, I think that's obviously me. Like, I'm not saying I've got, all this shit figured out, or like I've got, because my dream is to turn this company, this production into a production company, something cafe studios, and to have multiple shows with multiple hosts that aren't just me, having branching shows off of the company to bring in more people. I would like to start my own kava bar and call it something cafe kava.
That's cool.
And that's where I would record all of the podcasts. There would be a studio in the back.
You'd have an incredible selection of people to come on the show too.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you doing anything today?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tell me that interesting story you talked to me
are
about.
literally reading off of what I've written for it. Yeah, like I would
I'm
have
in your
on.
brain.
I would have.
I'm in there.
Oh gosh, don't look too far. And like have on guests and stuff like that, and talk about everything. And I would, I would work with clients out of that too, like audio recording, stuff like that. Like that is my dream. And it all, like this podcast, this production right now, it's very, the photos of Jeff Bezos with the Amazon cardboard sign taped up on the wall. That's what I am convinced that this is right now, because this is what's going to pay for my child's college. And I was just talking to my editor last night, because I've been doing so many solo episodes. I haven't been working hard enough to get people on as I should have. And I've been doing a lot of solo episodes, and a lot of the solo episodes, they're just getting dry. Just really dry. When I'm doing them, I can feel it. Like the last episode was probably the shortest one that we've done. It was like 45 minutes, and it was, I've exhausted all of my stories. Obviously not the Bane ones that just came up when we were talking about some earlier.
Get that in the vault.
Right. But I've exhausted all of my stories. I've talked about the most I can. I'm just doing current events. When you look up current news, it's all political. There's nothing fun. Like, I look up current news, and it's like, 12-year-old found hanging in the wine cellar of an Australian home. Suspect is believed to be the father and the cat. Like who? This is like, why? So it's just been getting dry, and I think I was projecting to my editor, who's also like my best friend. Me and him play Overwatch like all the time, but
nice.
he's from Illinois, and I was talking to him, and I was like, I don't know how you feel about the episodes, but I've been feeling really, really dry, and I know that. I don't know how you feel about them, but I just want to let you know, like, this is going to happen if we just keep going. Like, this is episode 40, like 42. Since episode 1, so much of the production has been improved. So right now, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking like, oh, what, a stupid little show and this and that. We get like 10 views in episode, blah blah blah. But if the only incorrect thing I can do now is to stop it.
Correct.
Like, that's it. If who knows? This is episode 42. nothing could happen even until episode 100. I don't care. The worst thing to do is to stop it, because if you stop it, that's on you. You quit.
Yep.
You quit. You were the one that put it down. And if it was going to succeed, you're the reason that it didn't. And everything that could have come from that success, you're the reason why it didn't happen. So that's what I think about a lot. And that's what I say to myself a lot. Because, I am only 22. And this is going to pay for my child's college. I don't know when, I don't know how, but sooner or later, my dream is to have my own show. And kind of back to what we were even talking about when I asked you that question, if you think you would be ready for that conversation, is like, I'm not trying to, like, I hope I didn't give off the impression that my mom was trying to stop me from chasing my dream, but I'm just thinking from her perspective. I can understand that it'd be hard after spending so much time and money on me singing for her kid to go, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
As a parent, the best parent would not let that frustration show, which it didn't show from her. I mean, later in life, mom kind of was like, well, you kind of up one day and we're like, no, blah, blah, blah. But, I reassured her, because she didn't understand what music production was and everything. And I reassured her, I said, this is a more modern avenue of what I have been doing. I mean, I've been doing all this stuff my entire life, but it's not for naught, because this is just the modern version. Opera, dead. Theater, no money, right? But I'm taking everything that I've learned through everything that all the opportunities that she did give me, and I'm putting it into this. If I didn't know how to sing, I wouldn't have any music out. If I didn't have any music out, I wouldn't want to pursue audio stuff like this.
Yep.
It's just something to think about, because I also want kids. I need a girlfriend first to do that, or I could just adopt. But I also want kids, and I also, I would let them do whatever thing they wanted to pursue. It doesn't matter what it is, except for like stripping. I would like absolutely like do whatever makes you happy. And I understand the frustration that like maybe my mom felt in that moment, but at the same time, I know she is the best mom, and she obviously like let me pursue this. So to go even farther back to why this even started is like when I moved here, that friend of the family just said he was working at this hospital. I got the job, and then I have no healthcare experience. I've never even been in a hospital for an ER visit.
That's crazy.
But I got the job because I talked a good talk, and I was like, oh, I've managed things, and I taught at Full Sail University. Don't ask me who my students were. You would have to talk to their parents, but I got the job, and then 6 or 8 months later, I got promoted in a field that I have no education in. I got promoted to surgery. And when that happened, I thought, you know what, like, there's truly something special about how hard I'm working that I've never recognized before. Because if I can get that, then I'm not saying I could get anything I want, but I sure as hell could really try. So where you are now, I want to hear about, so you work at Elevate. You are the manager. I mean, you're opening up another location. There's only one, right?
Correct.
Right now. And you're opening up one in Fort Myers. That's awesome. Mitra 9 is in Fort Myers, right?
They are. So it'll be like a headquarters
That's
kava
awesome.
bar. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, what's it been like? Like, I want to hear what it's been like as you're working in the kava bar, even before you became a manager. Because they've heard me talk about working in a kava bar so much. I want you to talk about it.
I didn't know anything about kava or kratom until I found a job at a kava bar.
Interesting.
I was yeah.
How did you sell that? Oh, I love that tea.
That tea is so
kava
good.
tastes amazing.
No, I did something that I didn't do in my previous jobs, and I was honest about my experience completely. I hated my job.
The call
center. The call center.
Yeah.
I quit that job to become a recruiter for a trucking company, which sucked. Horrible. No, don't do it. Recruiting is great. Commission-based recruiting.
Yeah.
Soulless.
Oh. Yeah.
I stopped doing that. And then I was really broke for a while, and thank God, like Sabrina was there to help me and like tell me that I could do it.
Who is Sabrina?
My fiance.
Nice.
Yeah.
She is awesome.
Yeah.
She is like the first, I want to say, like, spouse or not, but like she is the first partner of a friend of mine that I've genuinely felt like just so welcome in like because when I go to parties and stuff like that, I do get really nervous, and like obviously you are my main friend, and I'm going to this party. I'm kind of like watching you, kind of like assessing how I should be acting and whatnot. And never in my life had I had a friend whose girlfriend made me feel the same way. Like, she is awesome. Like, she made me feel so much more comfortable being there, because she treated me like like I was one of the dudes, and she's not even a dude. So nice.
Yeah, she's chill as fuck, dude.
Good pick.
Yeah. The thing I love about our relationship is like we're just both like on equal footing. I guess just in like all of our friend groups and interactions, and like just we're very comfortable with just being ourselves, and we support each other in that way. I lucked out, dude. I hit the goddamn lottery.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, she's fucking awesome. But she supported me through like me, like honestly not being a fucking baby, but I was being a fucking baby. I was like, I don't like any of these jobs. I
she
feel like
was
I'm
there
not.
for the call center.
She was.
How long have you guys been together?
We've been together, I want to say 9 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
high school
you were
sweethearts.
Goodness.
Yeah. 9 years. Yeah, damn. No, maybe 8 years.
So call center happened.
Yeah. Call center
her.
happened.
Recruiter happened with
Recruiter
her.
happened. Vape store happened with her. That was way back.
You worked in
worked at a vape store, which was.
You've been through it.
Been through it, dude. Which that job actually was. I thought that would be the best job I've ever had in my life until I had Elevate, because of the team and the community.
Okay.
The money sucked. Fuck it, yeah, money was horrible. Yeah. But when I was sitting there lost, like doing my job hunting, I just saw a random ad for Elevate for store manager.
Is that right?
And it was posted like 45 minutes before I logged in. And I was like, what the fuck? And I like read through like the synopsis, and I'm like, that's everything I want in a job. And I got on there, applied, and then sent like 3 paragraphs to whoever was in charge of this Indeed posting, hoping that it would fucking catch. And the message was literally just like, hey, I have like no relevant experience, but I am a manager at a call center.
There's a salesman.
Like, I got something. But like, dude, I don't know what it is, but this job is made for me. I just want a community. I want to build it.
But you didn't know what Kava and Kratom was.
No idea. No idea. So then
that's a salesman right there, brother.
Yep. So then I got an interview, and I said, holy shit, I guess this is crazy. So I went to a kava bar, absolutely loved it. The kava community is just so
awesome,
welcoming. Like I think everyone in life needs a community and needs like support, needs social interaction.
Yeah. And
I didn't realize how much I'd been missing out on that until I like started going to kava bars.
It was the same with me for Suva. Yeah,
It's just crazy. It's like I have friends. Don't get me wrong,
of course.
but it's like to have a place where like no matter what, you're gonna see someone that you know, and like everyone is trying to like build each other up. It's just fucking crazy. And then I am responsible for the employees, of course, but also like the entire community under Elevate's umbrella. And I've just loved it every step of the way. Like I've always just enjoyed like helping people and like just being a complete jackass and actually be like rewarded for it is insane. Like I can go in and I can say just the worst things.
Yeah.
Like me and Salcedo do it all the time.
Well, we get it. We get into it, man.
we get weird, man. We get weird.
I think when I went there on 9/11, we probably talked for probably an hour about just a lot of stuff that stuff that I really should put a Bible back in my pants for.
No, yeah,
that's
100%.
We said a lot of things.
We said some horrible things.
So, they were funny, but
they were funny as hell.
Shoot, man.
Like it was like, oh, it's falling down. Yeah, stop fucking complaining.
Yeah,
kids are dying in other countries, and a building's falling on you. Fucking get with a picture.
Yeah,
something like that.
Like my alarm didn't go off this morning. Like you did not have a worse morning than me. Wait, so the ad was for manager?
For store manager,
but
correct.
you weren't manager.
Correct. So yeah, it's a long story.
Okay.
So the ad was for store manager. And the original plan, right when I got brought on, I applied back in August of 2022, a long time ago. And the original plan was that my boss Caleb was going to be like a district manager of sorts.
Okay.
And they were fucking balls to the wall. We're going to open 3 elevates, and we're going to do it all within like 3 months of each other.
Okay.
That did not happen. What ended up happening is Elevate opened in July of 23, and I waited.
Elevate only elevates that young?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, July of 2023.
Holy crap.
Wait, was it 2023? No. Sorry, July of 2022.
Okay, but still,
no, fuck.
That's young.
Fuck, when did it?
Well, now you're just lying.
No, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. No. It was July of 2022, and I applied in August of 21.
Oh, goodness.
That's crazy. That's insane. No. 2023.
That is super young.
I waited like
for
a year,
kava bar.
Yeah.
I could have sworn. So Mitra hadn't had a, because that's Mitra's thing.
Yep.
That is Mitra's kava bar.
Yeah, Mitra owns the kava bar. Yeah.
They only made one in 2023.
Yeah.
Or 2022, 2023.
I think it was 2023.
Holy crap.
I don't know. I'm tripping for some reason. But
wow.
But yeah, I waited almost. I mean, at least 6 or 7 months for this place to start opening.
So you were doing what? Were you still?
I was sitting there like with my balls in my fucking like asshole, dude, just waiting.
You didn't.
Did you
have
was
a
getting
job?
like, dude, I probably waiting for Elevate to open. I probably had like 5 jobs.
Just bouncing
around trying to find something.
Like what?
I managed an office for a security officer firm. Wow, did that for a couple months. That sucked.
They let you in on that one, huh?
Yeah, they did. And I made pretty good money there, but they wanted me to work like 80 hours a week, and I was like, I don't want to do that. So I Irish goodbye. I do this thing at jobs where I just straight up Irish goodbye.
That's good.
Like I walked in good. The minute I found out that the next like 2 months of my life were going to be 8-hour weeks every single week.
Wow.
And I said I basically asked, I was like, are you going to hire someone so I don't have to do this?
Yeah.
And the lady said no, and I said, oh, okay, no worries. I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick. And then I never showed up ever again. And one of the bosses called me and they're like, I'm going to have to work like 100-hour week now. And I said, are you trying to make me feel bad? Because I don't. Yeah. Because your company sucks.
No hablo inglés.
And he's like, and he didn't know what to say. He's like, well,
Jeez.
All right. And
I mean, were they actually like a bad company?
Because
that's
they
pretty.
weren't a bad,
I mean,
they weren't a bad company.
They
were just built
really
off of like you need to grind,
Okay.
and you need to work 80 hours no matter what.
That's not healthy.
Yeah. No,
So I would say they're a bad
noise.
company.
Yeah.
Because that's not a healthy work environment.
I was like, oh fuck that. But yeah, I've Irish goodbye to like at least 4 jobs.
Well, of course the money was good. You were working insane hours.
Yeah, and it was salary, which was the big problem. You get a base paycheck every month, no matter what. That paycheck doesn't matter how many hours. If you work less hours, great. But what normally happens is you work more hours.
That's a lot of trust.
Yeah, like I'm salary at Elevate right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And most of the time I'm around like 50 hours, which isn't horrible. Some weeks though I'm at like 45.
It seems like salary for something like Elevate. I mean, it's such a dynamic job. You're like don't you remember when me and you were sitting there and you were doing all that paperwork? Like, what if there's a month where you don't have to do any of that paperwork and you obviously don't work as many hours, but then there's a month where you do double that paperwork and it's like, well, the pay is the same each month no matter what.
Yeah, like this last week, I definitely worked.
That's kind of scary.
65 to 70 hours
a week.
Just this last week.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which was a lot, but
so that kind of in the math, that wouldn't really reflect in the paycheck.
No.
But you love the job.
I do love the job, and I get
you're
paid,
doing what you can for the company.
Yeah, and I get paid more than I've ever been paid before. So I'm like, this is cool. I love the job. I have a handsome salary. And, I mean those two things I'm fucking good.
Do you think the leadership above you sees how much work you put in? Because they aren't there.
I think so. Because there was a bit of an issue with the previous manager there, which she tried her best. God bless her. But that was something that I realized
off of the camera.
Yeah. But that was something that I realized when I got the promotion. I was like, okay, so all it takes is the employees to be unhappy and go above the manager's head to make something happen.
Oh yeah.
So I need to make sure I'm on my shit.
That's happening at the hospital right now. Oh yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's crazy how easy it is to, not easy, but it's the right thing. Like if the team did the same thing that happened with the last manager, I would be like,
you would be out.
I'd be like, all right, yeah, but I would be very confused. And I have built a rapport with the team where,
of course,
if I'm doing something wrong, there's some things where I know they bicker and they gossip, and that's normal.
They always, dude,
and that's okay.
They always will. It doesn't. It doesn't matter.
I do the same.
It doesn't matter who it is. I truly believe in a private conversation is meant to stay private.
Yep.
Some people say, well, you talked about this in private, but you still talked about it, blah, blah. Okay, if you want to be, Mr. Morals, sure.
Yeah.
But a private conversation is a private conversation.
Let
it doesn't matter
private.
what it is. It shouldn't be aired out.
And in the kava community, it's aired out a lot.
Because it's a big community, but it's a small community. It's a big community with a bunch of different smaller communities.
Correct. Imagine you went to a church and take away the God stuff and replace it with spirituality and like some light drug use. But all of the community and the communal knowing what everyone did, and it very much reminds me of church.
I mean, dude, I worked at Suva.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's church-esque.
People have talked about Suva around me, not knowing I worked there. And they're like, yeah, everyone that worked there is just bums and just didn't do anything, and they ran the business into the ground and this that. And I spoke up and I was like, okay, first of all, like I worked at Suva. Like Suva, I considered Suva my home. Like I would go there not even to drink,
just to hang out.
To be there because I felt comfortable there.
Same.
And Suva was pretty ghetto, but it was a home to a lot of people. Like there was this homeless dude that would come in every night because, again, like I told you, I would work late shifts. He would come in, he wouldn't buy anything. We would just play dominoes for like an hour.
That's so
like
cool.
shit like that. Like that's what. So when people that this guy was talking like, oh yeah, Suva, so because old Suva, yeah, I've heard a lot of things about it. But when it got renovated and me and some of the other girls came onto the team, like I felt like it really became an upstanding business. Of course, a little bit of money laundering will run it into the ground.
We all do it.
But yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like a private conversation like that, even if that were to happen and I wasn't there, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. That's that guy's opinion. I don't know how much he knows about Suva, but I was there, so I had to say something. But you're gonna have employees doing that all the time. You know, even when there was talk about a new manager being knighted in, I even remember talking, you know, to Marle about it, and me and her. This was before. This was still when S was the manager, and me and M were just sitting at the cash register, just saying like, dude, I don't know if it's gonna happen. You would know more than me, M, but like I think Dawson should be manager, and she's saying like, oh yeah, like that's literally the only choice. Like I'm gonna be, if we can get in. This is her saying, if we could get him to be manager, like everything's gonna change. Like it's gonna be so much more fun to work here.
That's cool.
Yeah. So like even before like the conversations that were being had were about us, even people that don't work there, even some of even some of the older folk were like, yeah, that Dawson needs to be the person who takes over manager because things are gonna start like actually happening. And it did.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
It did.
I operate in this level of like, I'm always worried that I'm going to let myself down.
Okay.
By letting the team down.
Okay.
And me and you are similar in the way where I always feel like I'm just not doing enough.
Oh yeah.
But I work.
That's the curse, man.
I happily work like 50 to 60 hours and I'm just like, I got to do it. And like, I don't know, but the one thing that I'm thankful for is like the team. It's like I always have this anxiety. I think because of the way things went down with the last manager,
of course,
that like it's just gonna blindside me. But I mean,
but you don't. Yeah. That they had a different rapport with the previous manager,
correct,
than the rapport with you. I almost think like, you know, like they're your friend. And I'm not saying they weren't friends with the previous, but I think I would probably be confident to say maybe E was not as much as friends with S than he is with you, right?
I live with a guy.
That's gonna, yeah, it kind of has to, but like that's gonna be a game changer from the start. N, you know, N probably has I mean, granted, she was like a friend with S before, but still, like even as a third party, I'm looking at it and I'm like, they all love you, and when you're not there, when we do talk about you, it's because it's about, oh, dude, Dawson was literally here for like 6 hours this morning, putting all this shit up. I'm so happy he did because I'm gonna be honest. I was doing the dishes and I was just having a really rough time, and I fucking dropped I dropped a glass, and him coming in and putting everything up like really helped me out. We're gonna have a good event tomorrow night. It's like stuff like that. Like those, I'm telling you, those are the conversations being had when you're not there. The conversations that were being had when S was there, opposite. Opposite. So,
well, like, that gives me a boner.
It should.
Yeah, check it out.
Nice, dude. Dude,
no, I appreciate that.
That is a truth, man.
I appreciate that. I don't mean to rant about work any longer, but I genuinely just love it, man. Like I've never had a job where I can just see that my efforts to foster an open-minded, like, loving community,
Mhm.
it's there. It's
Mhm.
happening. Like, it's crazy. And it's like, I obviously, yes, I've worked very hard. But really all I've done is just be myself,
Mhm.
which is just crazy. That, like, I've found a job where I could just be myself. I am so spoiled. I hope to God, if anything happens with this job or I move on or whatever,
Mhm.
I will not move on until I find something to where
Oh
I
yeah.
can do the same in whatever regard. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah.
just, yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Dude, that's a really good place to end, man.
Should
I
we
re-
kiss?
I think we have to. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on
Of
for
course.
this episode. It'd be really cool to have you back on at some later date. I would definitely want to. I kind of want to run through some of the other the other employees there. I really want to have Ethan on. I shot him. I shot him a text the other day. I think Julia and I are pretty. Are I think I'm closer to Julia than some of the other girls there. I think it'd be cool. I think she's got some interesting things to say.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I really enjoyed this episode, dude. Is there anything else you wanna say?
I just wanted to close I just wanted to do a closing thought thing. Can I do the closing thought thing?
Close it, brother. Wow. Look, look at that. I don't. If I had the balls to say it, I would have said it myself. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by the Something Cafe. Like always, you can listen to the Something Cafe podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. You can catch the video on Spotify and YouTube. We have merchandise to sell, like mugs and some stickers and whatnot. Read the quote on the back of the mug. What does that say there?
If chips and salsa were a person, I would not be single. Celestino Dooley.
Amen, brother. That is what you'll find here at the Something Cafe podcast. Thank you for listening. Links in the description. And like always, thank you for stopping by the Something Cafe.